from CNN says that iPhone could triple in price to $3,500 if they're made in the USA. Now, theoretically, if Trump does get costs down, it would not be $3,500. If the tariffs work and the income tax works, there's competition and there's people who actually have jobs, it shouldn't be that high. But theoretically, right now, in terms of buying power, the idea is, in this new system that Trump is building, rent will be way cheaper, buying a house will be way cheaper.
Yeah.
But high-end electronics will be way more expensive.
Here's the thing. It's like, what's the new iPhone? The 18 or something? What are we on, 16?
I have no idea.
I have a 13. It's the same thing. There's barely any difference in it. People are on this cycle where they're like, yeah, I need a new iPhone. You don't need a new iPhone every year. So if people have to not get a new iPhone every year.
I don't know, dude, because you were saying earlier how in 6 months, how AI is advanced in 6 months.
Well,
this thing's wicked. This is the 24, the Android 24. The new one.
What does it do?
It's got crazy AI I haven't even investigated. You can
so you don't do anything with it?
It'll find it on the internet for you.
The AI on the Galaxy Ultra, I can take a picture. I hold the stylus down. It will take the person and I can move them and then AI generate images behind them.
It's so powerful.
Oh, that's pretty
Like I can take a picture of you right now and I can remove you from that chair.
Why would you take a picture of me then?
To remove you from the chair. I want to see the chair.
I want to get a picture of the goddamn chair.
I could throw you out of here right now.
Blocking me.
But you can, if you like take a picture and there's a sign in the background,
yeah,
you can hold it down and grab the sign and remove it, and it will put like bricks over it.
But I know like the whole thing with Trump is he goes, look, there's gonna be some short-term pain for long-term gain. So some of the short-term pain is you're not gonna get the phone that removes the person from the photo for a little bit. You're gonna have to use the phone that doesn't remove the person.
It could have dramatic consequences on the domestic populations falling behind technologically in the just the psychic race or the psychological race against the Chinese citizens that have the advanced tech AI phones.
I mean, China's in a lot of trouble. They're like their debt to GDP is like 330%. Like Trump is trying to cripple them. They have an aging population.
Dude, Serge just said before the show, there's possible chance that they've been inflating their population numbers. Nowhere
lying
near
about everything
1.4
else.
billion. Yeah, they've been lying about so much.
I mean, they said COVID came from a goddamn wet market.
They manipulated their economy so the housing is worth more money, so they can claim a higher net worth of citizens and leverage that for credit and a bunch of other.
I mean, they literally manipulate their currency,
right?
Everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, so let's go back to that question. The reason why I brought up the iPhone tripling in price is because the general idea of the shift in the economy is fine, import things, but they'll be expensive.
Yeah.
Unless they can be made here. So a lot of things may become more expensive. The government, what Trump is doing, he's gutting the government. He's dramatically reducing the budgetary requirements. At the same time, he's launching these tariffs. It looks like his strategy is eliminate the income tax, make the government very small so it can operate just off tariffs. The question I have now is, if that is the play, or if not, or whatever, what can be done either in, I suppose my question is that what is going to make it so millennials can retire? Or is there something else that we can do so that we can change this? We're talking about 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, there is an element too with the iPhone stuff where robotics will come in and there's not going to be people assembling iPhones, period. Like it'll just be robots in 5 years or something.
Dude, especially
5 years,
with Optimus.
Right?
Atlas.
So it like the
Robo people.
This might be kind of a moot point regardless because we won't need Chinese or American people to assemble.
Has anyone stopped to consider what Elon Musk is doing?
He's sending robots to Mars.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Saw that next year, I think.
That's incorrect.
He's sending Optimus.
I'm going to clarify this for you.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Elon Musk is inventing Neuralink so that you can upload your brain to the robot and you can go to Mars.
Oh, shit, dude. You're speaking my language now.
Elon buys X for access to the data stream. We call it the fire hose. He has the best stream of human consciousness for programming.
And the worst.
And the worst.
And the absolute worst.
Well, it's everything.
But it's all of it. I know.
It's all of us.
I'm joking.
Everybody needs a sewage system.
This is the best training data for a large language model to create these AI programs. He's working on Optimus, space travel, and Neuralink. All of this aligns with uploading your brain to the machine and you going to other planets.
Or it'll be like a surrogate machine that people can like timeshare, and we'll all be able to. I'll get it from 6 to 7 tomorrow. You'll get it from 7 to 8, and then I'll port my consciousness into it, and I'll be on Mars, and then I'll be back, and you can go in and use the same robot.
It's gonna be like
be able to use the same robot at the same time.
What's that? Altered Carbon? Was that the name of the show?
Yeah.
Where you can download your brain into like a chip in your neck, and then take it out and upload it to a different body.
Because at first,
that's where they're going with Neuralink.
At first, it's just going to be you'll be in the robots. You'll just be like in a movie where you turn and the robot will turn, maybe. But then eventually, yes, of course, I don't know. Will it have sensors on it where you can actually feel, touch?
Yes.
Things like that.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're going to look like people. They're not going to be these weird robot drone things. They're going to put skins and stuff on them.
They'll be able to walk on the surface.
Dude, it's and the argument is Mars is minus 44. How do humans operate there? I do think there's a lot of things they're going to do with AI. They can literally drop a bunch of robots on Mars and say, "Figure it out."
Yeah, that's the goal.
And then the robots are going to be like, "You got a boss."
Plant a bunch
and
of
then we just
daikon.
Yeah.
do nothing.
Start building.
Yeah, if they're gonna start. You got to plant a bunch of radishes first. I keep thinking daikon. They're like, what do we call the first city on Mars?
is
It's called
your-
daikon.
You got to build giant biospheres.
Yeah.
I think we can if we plant.
We don't
quadrillions
want
of
to all eat
daikon.
radishes.
Well, only at first because it breaks up the soil and it'll aerate the soil, and then we can
Talking about
start.
some
but the
Soviet dystopia where all we eat is radishes.
But the soil is not organic matter, so there's going to be things missing from it.
Yeah,
So
we're
it's
going to
not-
introduce stuff slowly.
Right. You need organic compounds so that you can grow the plants.
You need a landfill. Just to really-
you're gonna- you're
when
gonna
it-
need
when
bacteria.
it rots, it eats itself and can grow new daikon.
We're going to
on
need
Earth.
we're going to need a bacteria that consumes iron and can survive at cold temperatures to spam blast that planet with bacteria, because you're going to need to create an organic layer for higher life forms like plants to grow out of. They're going to have to build biospheres so that life can exist as it grows and expands. But I don't know how this helps millennials retire. Other than, I'm going to tell you this:
They have more space to move.
millennials are going to retire by
Property's cheap on Mars.
You're going to live in the pod, plug your brain into the VR, and you're going to live in a fake world where you're Spider-Man.
There's
that
a
sucks.
maybe. I'd rather. Hey, there's a board game called Terraforming Mars that we have it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a bunch of corporations that are in a race to terraform the planet first, and you're one of those corporations.
Elon's going to climb it. He's going to land there. He's going to put a flag on the.
Tesla flag. That'll.
How does that work?
Trigger
Like-
some
like,
people. Trigger some protesters.
I own Mars now, and it's mine.
Like it's a corporation. It's his corporation. So does a corporation now? Is it become a country? Is he going to build his own country on the planet?
It's like the East India Trading Company. It's an organization with a hierarchical government.
Yeah.
It really was. It was like a government. It was a corporation that was like the most powerful government on Earth.
Yeah.
Relative, one of them.
They killed 50,000 people for black pepper.
Dude, they colonized
You
India.
ever try
They
eating
just-
eggs without black pepper?
You can't do it.
Inedible.
So I totally understand why the East India Trading Company had to kill all those people to get it.
So we'll start with. I don't like the idea of starting with a corporation as our government, but maybe that's just the only.
I mean, maybe there'll be some
So,
U.S.
we-
government tie-in to
Can we
it.
just mention how good it is in this world that there was a period where men would board a massive warship and the captain would be like, "Men, today we set sail on a 16-month journey, and we will come back with pepper."
Yeah, having
And
like
they're
a dysentery and
they're dying. And they're like encountering wild animals and there's storms and they barely make it back. And the king is like, "You have done great things for our nation." And today it's on every table at every diner and nobody touches it.
Yeah.
Dude, I just made a video about deconstruction versus destruction of government and how if you destroy a government, when chaos ensues, the thing that I think that people don't consider or that should be is how the supply chain just completely evaporates when chaos erupts. Like you think all that food, all that stuff, that is so delicate to maintain the ability to access black pepper.
Yeah.
So it's super important that we don't destroy our government, that we do deconstruct it and reconstruct it.
I agree.
Nice.
Let's not destroy our government.
You know what? You know where I think we're going? I think we're going the way of ancient Rome, as I'm not the first to speculate. But when Rome collapsed, we got the Dark Ages. People forgot how to take a dump in a toilet.
Yeah.
They just started throwing it out the window. They were like, well, how do you forget this stuff? How do you lose technology like that?
I guess it was written down on paper and they got invaded and the paper got destroyed. Maybe the historical records were
I
destroyed.
think you would pass that along just verbally.
You know what's even crazier is that the language morphed into a bunch of different languages.
Yeah, from Latin.
That's
Latin
right.
was the original.
When Rome collapsed,
French and Spanish.
everybody started speaking something else.
Yeah.
Maybe I think about data storage. You can store data in glass in orbit. We could store our data in orbit. So if something were to happen on the surface, like a nuclear,
Yeah, but we're not going to know how
Have
to
you-
get it back.
Have you
could
seen the
have to hit
Have you
with
seen the
lasers,
movie
but they'd have to
Moonfall?
figure that
Oh,
out.
they'd be like, "Yo, it's up there." You go, "Yeah, good."
Have you seen the movie Moonfall?
No.
The movie starts as being about the moon is falling. And then you're like, okay. And then they're like, the moon's going to crash into Earth and everyone's going to die. Then it turns out, way later in the movie, that the moon was a terraforming base that created the Earth as a colony for humans. And then I think it was something like the humans from the space station had come down to Earth and their ship got damaged and they couldn't get back. And so that was just the end of all of human civilization at that moment. Something like that.
Yeah.
So like apparently in the movie, they had this great civilization that built a bunch of these terraforming machines that would go out and build planets that humans could colonize. But the humans created an AI that thought humans were a threat and wiped them all out. One group of humans escaped on one of the terraforming machines and hid. The AI went and destroyed all of the other bases. And then this one created the Earth. And then somehow they got detached from the space station, landed on Earth. And they're looking up at it being like, there's all of the knowledge of everything our race has created, and we have no way to get to it. So they tell stories to their kids, but after 100 years, they're cavemen with fires and sticks.
It's like the mud flood.
It's possible all
right,
we
the mud
have.
flood.
Yeah, it's like the mud flood. They had all this technology, and then it only takes 100 years or something.
Oh, man, I think that's what happened with Atlantis. When that flood covered, they were storing it in the Capitol, and they were hoarding it in the Capitol. When it got flooded, it was all...
What if
most
the
of it was
story
lost.
of...
I mean, if you had a hard drive with all the information in the world, in 100 years, that thing would literally disintegrate.
Yeah, well, I mean, buried underground. And
But even if it wasn't buried, it's just like the elements would
Right.
just destroy it.
what if Noah's Ark is real, and the actual story was there was a great civilization, there was Atlantis, and a flood wiped it out and destroyed all of civilization, a massive flood. And the reason why I think it's mud is because after floods, the sediment sets and it leaves behind thick mud. And then, and that was like 12,000 years ago or something,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think that is what... That's the evidence from the younger...
And there was a
the younger
podcast
Dryas.
12,000 years ago, and they were talking about the same stuff.
And there was this dude named
record of
Noah, and he was like, guys, the flood is going to happen. I'm building a boat. And they're like, you're crazy.
I believe it was 2 floods, too, which is interesting. There was 800 years apart, because we're in this torrid meteor stream, and if something happened to the Earth's magnetic field, these meteors, I don't know if it did or not, but some meteors fell. So we're in the meteor stream right now, and people are concerned, like, of the potential of another cataclysm like that.
I mean, it's only a matter of time before something happens.
My question is, how long do you think it would take to terraform Mars? Do you guys think about it much? I think about it a lot.
It would take, well, I mean, you'd have...
1,000 years?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have the same kind of mass as the Earth does, right? Like, you have significantly less gravity, and that's part of why Mars doesn't have a thick...
I mean, what's the capacity of the largest rocket that could get to Mars? And doesn't it take 9 years?
Starship,
Which
no,
is
no,
like-
no, like 2 or something like that.
2 years.
Or something.
Okay, so it takes 2 years to get to Mars. Assuming you need cement to build stuff, how much cement can you get in one go?
If I understand correctly, like Musk is planning on sending, at the end of next year, he's planning on sending Starship. Hopefully, he's hoping for Starship and a bunch of Optimus robots that have AI, so that way they're not reliant on commands from Earth, because it's like a 4-minute delay between the Earth and Mars. So he's gonna, and one of the other things that he said is there's got to be processes that can be utilized on Mars, because moving things, like moving machinery and stuff to make machinery is one thing, but like moving materials, how do you
get the materials then?
Well, moving it from Earth to there is a real pain in the butt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He was talking about
forever.
I think he was talking about actually, I'm not. I don't know.
Like mining, setting up a mining facility or something.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what it was. But he was saying that. He was saying the processes have to be on Mars.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he was talking about using nuclear or what the deal was.
I mean, that's the thing. We use all the resources that are on Earth. So if they have limited resources there, that means we need to get them from here, or you have to. Assuming it's even possible to plant trees on Mars, you're like, how long is that?
Well, no, I mean, they're gonna when it comes to like food and stuff like that, we'll obviously bring it, and you'll be doing stuff first in like biodomes. So like the biodome they did here on Earth, that's the first thing. It'd be biodomes and underground,
and then seed bombing, which is where they'll retrofit planes or drones or something to drop like literally billions of seeds per day,
thousands of years. It'll be 1,000 years before you could do that on the surface.
The thing about time is it's motion. So if you do things faster, it takes less time.
If you look at like
yes, Ian, if you do things faster,
like
it takes
like
less
it might
time.
take you, if you have an hour of work to do, if you read it twice as fast, it only takes you a half hour.
It takes 2 years. It takes 2 years to get there.
It's the same with erosion.
That's right. And this is the advice I usually give people when they say, "Hey, I'm coming over. I'm an hour away." I say, if you go 120 miles an hour, you'll be here in a half an hour.
And if you have 2 drones instead of 1, it's going to take 50% of the time.
You're not going to be doing any kind of planting on Mars for a long time. But the reason that he bought the
Assuming
boring,
that it's even possible.
yeah, exactly. But right now it's not at all. Nothing nothing's going to grow on the Martian soil.
Yeah,
There's
currently
there's
nothing grows there. So.
But the reason that he bought the boring company and started the boring company is because he wants to be able to build things underground. Right. The point is because there is radiation that you have to worry about on Mars. It doesn't have the same magnetosphere, so it gets way more cosmic radiation.
I do not, after this conversation, I do not want to live on Mars.
I don't want to live on Mars.
Maybe we'll be planting fungus then underground.
I really do not want to live on Mars.
Because they always say mushrooms will save the world. A lot of people think that. And
do they say that?
You can feed bees.
Who's they?
Mushroom
who's
tea.
saying that?
Paul
Who is they,
Stamets.
though?
Paul Stamets, the leading mycologist on the planet. You can feed bees mushroom tea and help them heal from neonicotinoid pesticide poisoning and stuff. So maybe that will be our first crop is fungus underground in the tunnels.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.